Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Wednesday's market SITREP or situation report here at Top Gun Options. Knocking this out way before market open, about I don't know 7:50 in the morning here. Why? Because the market's going to absolutely implode, as I predicted yesterday. I told everybody to get short China and long volatility as the market was up 400 points. Right, Dow was up 414 points. I said, don't believe it, sell into this. I sent a text alert out to my Commanding Officers Club coaching clients and said, sell into this rally, and we're going to print money today. Yesterday, we looked at a bearish double vertical on FXI. That's the iShares China ETF. I said, sell into this pop, folks. Do not believe it. Right now, pre-market, this thing's down nearly 2%. That burner trade is going to be looking at thousands of dollars in profit in a day, and we're going lower, folks. I haven't even gotten to what's going on with treasuries and the recession warning lights in the cockpit that we got, but this is ugly. Dow's going to open at least 300 down, and we're going lower. I've been telling you, take May 1st to June 1st, cut and paste what the S&P 500 did. Absolute implosion on trade war fears. Maybe Trump and the Fed helped us out with some soothing words through the 50-day, and then implosion through the 200-day. And then the Fed really super helped us out with their words. Fed's running out of bullets, folks. What do they do when they're out of bullets? What are we all going to do? That's when the, excuse me, grab your chest, I'm coming, Elizabeth, big one from Sanford and Son's going to happen. Look at this. Steeper implosion on Trump, trade, Fed. Back up to the 50, kind of kissed it, implosion, back up, semi-touched it, and we're going to implode. So doing this before the open because you might be want to buy in some disaster puts down here to 200-day moving average. If we're going to, as I've said, folks, the markets don't live between these two moving averages. The blue line's the 50-day on the S&P 500. The red is the 200-day. This is no man's land. This is trench warfare in World War I. There's the Allies. There's the Germans, right? Nobody ran around down here because you get killed. Until the bots become self-aware and kill all of us are. Even the algos are programmed around these levels, right? So market ain't going to hang out in here just like it didn't hang out in here. It never does. I've been doing this for over a quarter of a century, and I know this to be true. But here's my bias even more to the downside. The president looked like an absolute fool yesterday twice. And I'm a big Trump supporter, folks, but he's losing me. When you're losing me, you know you're in trouble. He blinked. He blinked twice yesterday, and one of them I care more about. I could give a shit about a trade war, folks, to be honest with you. I care about democracy. I care about people around the globe who want to be free. We're the United freaking States of America, folks. We're supposed to be the shining house on a hill, right, that Ronald Reagan raised me on. We're the beacon of freedom. And when there's people, folks, people running around in Hong Kong with American flags and singing our national anthem. For God's sakes, I saw a couple of protesters that had signs that say, this is why we need our own Second Amendment. And we have idiots and liberals and Democrats, which I guess it's all triple redundant there, wanting to give this right. This isn't the right to bear arms, folks, isn't a right given to you by the government. It was given to you by your creator, man. Remember the Bill of Rights? Those weren't suggestions, man. That's limiting what government can do. And we got 20, I lost count, a baker's dozen, 2 dozen idiot Democrats running around talking about gun confiscation. Are you nuts? Are you high? Look at these protesters, folks. Here's why I'm furious at the president. He more or less is giving Xi a pass. Last week, he sounded even dumber than he sounded yesterday. He said, as you know, Hong Kong's part of China. I'm like, okay, thanks for the civics lesson, Mr. President. And, that's kind of between China and Hong Kong. And, Xi's showing great restraint. Are you kidding? You're the president of the United States, man. Just because you win a trade deal, you're going to kiss this dude's ass and let him steamroll all over pro-democracy demonstrators? Are you high? Do you want a deal that badly? Well, now you do, because we're flashing a recession warning with the 10-year below the 2-year for the first time, right, since 2007. 2005 it flashed, and 2007-ish we hit a recession, and you know what happened in 2009, Barack Hussein Obama. But this is awful, folks. So the president blinked twice yesterday. He also blinked, he blinked on trade, but he Trump is harsh on China, except when it comes to democracy. And everybody's seeing this for what it is, folks. I hate being such a cynic, but the man's turning into a politician. He got elected for not being a politician. Now he's turning into one. New York Times headline. I'm no big New York Times, folks. Waning of American power. Trump struggles with an Asia crisis. But he did. the president blinked. China, if you're Xi Jinping, twice in one day, the U.S. president, he not only punted, and here's what's funny, folks, overnight, and I got up early to watch all this stuff and see what's going on. China didn't say a word in their state media other than bitching about tariffs, some tariffs still going into effect on September 1st. I thought, Mr. President, and the president's reasoning was, phones and the Christmas, I don't want to impact our consumers. Dude, you've been saying since day one that our consumers don't get impacted, right? That's true. Don't read me chapter 3 from your economics book, those who can't teach. But he's saying just to preempt maybe something bad happening to our consumers, I'm going to delay these to December. That's a blink, dude. If you're President Xi Jinping, what you said yesterday about, hey, everybody should just keep calm over there in Hong Kong, to I'm going to delay these tariffs. You blink, dude. You blink twice. Xi Jinping now is in the driver's seat. He feels like he's got the airspeed. And ladies and gentlemen, when, not if, when they smash these protests in Hong Kong with force, they're going to move to take Taiwan. President Trump might not care about Hong Kong. He better care about Taiwan. We sold them $2.2 billion in arms recently, and they're an independent country, right? Mainland China calls them what? A renegade province that we're going to take back. We have a defense of Taiwan agreement, folks. We have an agreement that says if you're attacked by mainland China, we'll defend you. You think Trump's going to do that now? Will any agreement that we have be worth the paper it's written on? I'm taking a lot of time on this, folks, because all of this is bad. None of this is bullish. The president actually capitulating on these tariffs makes a trade war deeper and more worse, right? Well, what if he gets a deal, Wiz? Well, now the deal's going to look weak. He's going to look weak. Everything's awful. I've been preaching for the past 2, 3, 4 years that any deal with China isn't going to be worth the paper it's written on. Anybody listening to this SITREP think that China is going to stop stealing our intellectual property? Anybody listening to this thinks that China is going to stop subsidizing businesses? Anybody think that they're going to change the way they do business fundamentally? Of course not. And I said this yesterday, folks, this really is the fall of the Berlin Wall and the Soviet Union. President Xi Jinping has a choice, either to let this happen, dudes running around with American flags asking for their own Second Amendment, and we don't want you, China, or is he going to crush it like Tiananmen Square? There's only 2 ways this goes, folks. And if I was a voting member, I'm voting for they're going to crush it. And then they're moving over to Taiwan. None of this is bullish, folks. This is why I'm shooting this before market open. I'd get some, as I'm talking, the futures went down to at least 100 more points. We're looking at a Dow open of about down 350. We're heading back down here, folks. Last Tuesday, I bought some emergency disaster puts, and what happened? That happened. Why? Because it was a short squeeze. Yesterday, I told you to sell into this rally, man. I said, get out of your short volatility positions and get long volatility. Said this yesterday in the primary live trade brief, and we put on a burner trade. We have a burner trade in our accelerated retirement brief that we're going to do at 1 o'clock today. Look at this. I'm long 50 out to next Friday, 50 of the AUG 23, 38 puts on FXI. What's FXI right now trading at? It's going to go below 38 at the open easily. Those puts are going to be printing money today. And I have a bear call spread. I have the 39.5 40 out to next Friday as well. This trade's going to make $2 grand easily. So last time I did a burner trade, listen to me. Last time I did a burner trade on FXI right here, the 2 trades I covered, a bear call spread that financed the purchase of puts, made $20,000 on on 6 grand in risk. Matthew Underwood, it's 18 grand, same thing, 6 grand in risk. Amy, Ocean City, Maryland, about 18 and 19 on the same amount of risk, $5,500, folks. I had numerous folks do the burner trade and make nearly $20,000 on limited risk. That's exactly what's going. I said FXI is going to implode. It did. It's going to hang out on a ledge here, and it's going to implode again. There is no bottom in this FXI. Look out below. Here's the other reason why you needed to do a burner trade. I forgot to brief this in the PLTB yesterday, but you guys need to be doing this on your own at Forex Factory. What happened last night? Right? Fixed asset investment out of China imploded Industrial production imploded. Retail sales imploded. Nothing, absolutely no China data was good. China factory output the weakest in 17 years. And as the Wall Street Journal said the other day, they finally came around to what I've been telling you for years. Beijing's doctor data shows growth has slowed, and the actual rate is certainly much worse. All of these numbers on your screen, ladies and gentlemen, fixed asset investment, industrial production, and retail sales are a lie. They are a hell of a lot worse. So somebody tell me what the bullish case is for FXI. You can't. If you're bearish, you should have done or can do. It's not too late, folks. This is going to implode. You see this drop? Actually, here's where it more or less started. This is where we put on our burner trade, right at that 50-day moving average. Right here is actually where we did it, folks. Great trade. Like I said, $20,000 if you do the two trades that I looked at. It's the same as this one, folks. We closed it out, right, and said, ching, thanks for essentially a semester, full year, half year tuition for college, and then it's going to do it again. And so I'm so looking forward to our 1 o'clock brief today, because right now this trade's showing down 19. I guarantee you by 1 o'clock this afternoon, this trade is up $3,000. Unlimited risk, folks. We also have a Raytheon bear call spread on out to the end of the month, 187.5, 190 in the retirement portfolio. That's up $1,100, and that's going to, with an 80% probability, make $2,000. That trade's about a 4-week trade, $2,000 in 4 weeks. We're having a blast here, folks, at Top Gun Options. I mean that. This is the time you cut your chops as an options trader. If a market's going straight up or straight down, it sucks. Well, why? Because there's no volatility, folks. If a market's going straight up or a market's going straight down, it's predictable. The volatility comes in. This is when you make your money as an options trader, folks, with volatility. Nobody I know lets you trade off the left side of a chart. Technical analysis is stupid, except for support, resistance, and moving averages. That's it. If you're paying for any sort of technical analysis service, you're an idiot. And I mean that with the full weight of it. We used to burn witches too. If you can trade off the left side of the chart, please email me and let me know who your broker is. I'd love to know. You don't. You can only trade off the right side of the chart. Tell me how many dojo reverse Fibonacci twists with a teapot handle, head and shoulders predicted this. I did. I said the market was going to sell off on the Fed announcement. It was a buy on the rumor, sell on the news. The market would implode. And Trump, after watching Jerome Powell's press conference going, I'm not sure why I cut interest rates, but maybe because of trade. Trump sat there and said, oh, yeah, trade's going to get you to cut rates? Here's some tariffs. Boom, suck on that, Jerome Powell. Implosion. Technical analysis is dead, folks. It died in 2008, 2009. So obviously, trade war is taking a big toll on China. And they just won't admit it. But folks, when you can dictate happiness and economic policy at the end of a bayonet, they're going to outlast us, especially with the president and his complete and utter clown car yesterday. Awful. Absolutely awful. Now, let's get to the other reason we're going to implode at the open. The bond yields, folks. The yield curve inverts, 2-year versus 10-year, right? Obviously, people say, hey, man, if I'm going to lend you money, I should get a lot more money further out in time, right? Everything's great out in time. Give me more money. It inverts when the 2-year tops the 10-year, when the shorter-term debt yields more than the longer term. That's inverted, man. The only time it's cool to be inverted is at Top Gun, flying an F-18. That's cool inversion. This is bad. The last inversion that happened like this, December 2005, 2 years before a recession hit. Well, we got 2 years. Folks, on average, 22 months later is when a recession occurs. How many times have I told my members this? The government doesn't wake up one day and says, hey, as of 0805 this morning, we're in a recession. No, they don't. They go, as of about 19, 20 months ago, we've been in a recession. We might be in one right now, folks, to be honest with you. We just don't know it. I don't think we are. But, folks, now the president's starting to look crazy like a fox, right? The president's starting to look crazy like a fox for beating the hell out of Jerome Powell for what? Dude, what were you doing raising interest rates? You should have been cutting. You should have been doing what? QE, not QT. Alphabet soup, right? QE is quantitative easing. Ben Bernanke did that to Barack Hussein Obama. $85 billion a month at one point. What's Jerome Powell doing to Trump? QT. Dumping all the stuff on his balance sheet and was raising interest rates. He just cut, folks, he's screwed. He's backed into a corner. And he's got to do a 50 basis point cut in September and another one in December. So the president, a little crazy like a fox in that respect, but he looks like a coward. Absolute coward. The man looks like a coward for kind of kissing Xi Jinping's ass on on Hong Kong and giving on the tariffs. I get his words of, well, I in case it was going to hit the the consumers, we're gonna delay these. Well, we can all read between the lines. The dude watches the market as much as I do, but guess what, man? He can't do crap about the inversion in the yield curve. He can. Yesterday, man, at his Pennsylvania rally, what did he say? Oh, Jerome Powell, another stupid guy that I hired. He speaks nicer of Xi Jinping than his Fed chief. He speaks nicer of a guy that slaughters his own people and makes them eat grass in North Korea than his own Fed chief. So this is ugly, folks. Again, wanted to do a before market open SITREP so you can. I told you to be dogfighting volatility, folks. One day, do the exact opposite. Dow was up 414 yesterday. I said, get out of your long volatility. Or I'm sorry, short volatility trades, right? And then get long. Yesterday, man, as people are like, dude, why would you be getting long volatility? The market's up 400 points. I'm like, it's going to implode. Did you not see what's going on in Hong Kong? Did you not see the president blink on the trade war? And I knew the yield curves were getting close. I didn't know it was going to invert overnight. Now we're inverted. Implosion time, folks. And the market ain't going to hang out down here in between the 50 and 200. I think the next stop's the 200-day moving average. Could be completely wrong. But what's going to drive it higher? Let me wrap on this. What's going to drive this higher? The president just punted on, 90% of the tariffs? Some are still going into effect on the 1st. And what happened? China, instead of saying thanks and this is great and, I'm glad we're kind of friendly, they mocked him. They mocked the president for being weak and saying we're still livid about shit going into effect on. So how's the president talk this market higher, folks? He can't. He's out of bullets. He's out of words. Well, he's never out of words. But what am I getting at? He's going to keep beating up the Fed. He's going to what's he going to do? Take the remaining 10% tariffs and kick them out to December? Yay! That's what the market's going to rally on. We're done with earnings, and we don't have a Fed meeting for like 2-3 weeks. So for the next 2-3 weeks, man, get ready for more of a shit show, and it's going to look just like this, folks. If you're confused and you're not having fun doing this, you're doing it wrong, and I mean that in the sense that we can help you out. Do me a favor. All you need to do, hang out with us for the next week. The next week's going to be critical to where this market's going to go. Simply for $38 for a week, you can join us. Go.topgunoptions.com/go-flight. Just like Apollo 13, man, go.topgunoptions.com/go-flight. And for the price of a drink here in Fort Lauderdale, you can get airborne and take a test drive into a bunch of our live trading services. We're having fun doing this, folks, as I said. And this is, looking at, your China trades are down $1,900. That was yesterday, man. Today, these things are going to be up $3,000 by the time I do my 1 o'clock brief. And the last time I did a burner trade like this, the puts were up $18,000. The puts that I placed, we bought them at like 10, 15 cents. They went up to whatever it was, $3. It was insanity. It was somebody did the calculations. It was like an 1,800% gain in those puts. The bear call spread expired for a max profit of $2,000. $18,000 plus $2,000 is $20,000. Unlimited risk, folks. So I don't know what you're waiting for, man. If this isn't the time for you to give us a test flight here, don't join, because this is the best time to be here at Top Gun Options when this type of stuff is going on. Okay? All right, man. Have a great rest of your day. Happy hunting. Make sure you hedge, and God bless. I'll see many of you at 1 o'clock for our accelerated retirement. We'll see you.